Back to what Pat Robertson said, and people brought up the vows. You take a vow that says, till death do us part. He says this is a form of death, Alzheimer's. Now, it's surprising to a lot of people to realize when that pastor is standing up there, maybe married you or you've been to a wedding, he is not reading those vows word for word from the Bible. They're not necessarily from the Bible. Explain first, where do we get those vows we're also familiar with?
Yeah, the traditional vows seem to be in their earliest attested form go back to the 1500s, but they're not technically found as such in the Bible. Some of the language, of course, that's used in marriages, including things like what God has joined, let no one put apart, that's found in the Bible. Jesus says that in Matthew 19. But these other phrases are not found in the Bible per se, though they echo aspects of what the Bible says about the covenant bond, and particularly about care for one another within marriage.
Is there a till death do us part you could pluck from the Bible somewhere, or somewhere they interpreted that?
Right. Not exactly with that phrase, but when you think about, of course, you know, there's nothing like Alzheimer's mentioned in the Bible proper. They don't have that diagnosis back then. But there's all kinds of texts in the Bible about taking care of people who are needy and sick, and if that applies to strangers, which it does in the Bible, then certainly it would apply to a family and even one's spouse. And we do have these texts like Ephesians that talk about husbands loving, really mandating husbands to love their wives with the ultimate love of Christ's self-sacrificial love for the church. That says it is till death do us part, and even up to and including the death of the spouse that loves the other spouse to that degree.
We'll wrap here. The reaction you have seen, though, to this, of course, Pat Robertson has said some controversial things in the past, and, you know, people support him, people don't support him, but on this one, what have you seen from the religious community?
Well, it's been really, I think, markedly uniform condemning him, and I think it's because the Bible's clear in its broad scope to be against what he said on this particular point.
Dr. Brent Strong, it's always good to have you. Thank you
My pleasure.
being willing to come in anytime for our Faces of Faith segment. Thanks so much.